Hey everybody. You may be familiar already with this title because I worked on a Wonder Woman number 24 not long ago, last year, right? And this particular issue though has entirely different issues, right? You have the spine fully separated. Some areas of the spine had folded over. We can fold them back definitely. Something fell off the book and I can't, for the heck of me, figure out where it fell off from, but so I'll take a look. But the book has really a nasty smell to it, a very acidic smell to it. So we need to do dry cleaning on this cover. We need to do wet cleaning on it, and we need to do leaf casting on the cover, just to make sure it is nice and stable. The leaf casting is going to be on the spine, and all the edges are going to get furnish as well. So if you look at the back side, you can see that you have the same kind of issues with the spine. There is a rip here, there are little rips there, little rips there that can be supported again with leaf casting when we do the leaf casting around the edges as well. So this book is gonna get a facelift and stabilization with an alkaline bath, and the same goes for the interior. The interior needs to be also addressed, and some mending of tears and things like that will have to be done. There's dirt on the interior pages, and you can see the first wrap has tears, and there is rusty staple on the top, and this staple is rusty as well. So both staples have rusted. There is some rust migration that we'll have to assess and see if we need to remove the rust migration or leave it the way it is. Definitely rust migration that you can see there, guys. H.G. Peter, Wonder Woman by Charles Moulton. How cool. Look at that. This is the center fold. It's fully separated. Yeah, this is easy to fix because you could just use Tengujo tissue here. So, all right, guys. So we'll start with this project. I'm going to begin with flattening the cover as best as we can and dry cleaning, and then we'll proceed from that point. Right. Here comes this steam, guys, and you keep going like this and get it nice and steamed, and then we should be able to unfold these rigid pieces, right? All right. So as I flattened some of these areas, I just put small weight on them, right? Just to keep them in place, right? And you can see that they are doing pretty well here. And I did this already, I have to do these now. You can see how pliable they became, and once they absorb some of that steam. So this area here, we can just go ahead and put a small weight on it. Eventually, once everything is nice and flat, we can at least give it a good cleaning. Right, so I'm going to leave these erasers on for now, and then come back, take them off, and then place another piece of glass on top of this, right? And this will keep everything nice and flat for a while. We'll leave it like this overnight, and by tomorrow everything should be as flat as possible, right? We're not using heat here, we're just using the weight of the glass on top of the on top of the cover. So I'm going to try to flatten it the best I can, right? And then give it a good dry cleaning and then proceed with the wet cleaning, right? And clearly the spine needs to be reinforced, and leaf casting has to be done on it just to fill some of the areas here at least. And we can use the grammage to calculate how much pulp we need here and here. And then the rest of the spine, just a matter of adding some pulp to it just to reinforce it, right? Some areas here on the spine are definitely ready to go, right? So we can seal them nice, and it'll give us a nice finish at the end for folding, and it'll look like a new comic at the end, right? So I'm going to try to do the dry cleaning. And these pieces are flat, but they're still, this is an overnight press, right? Just with the weight of the glass itself. All right, so apologies, I had to adjust the camera. So I'm going to start with the makeup pads and just very lightly go over the book. And there's some dirt coming off, so definitely be very careful here to not to cause more rips and things like that, right? And this cover, in my opinion, has really nice bright colors to it. But the pages are also delicate, right? The best I could say. Not quite brittle, but delicate. Go through these circular motions. It's pretty delicate, so you have to be careful, right? Some parts here are pieces of the cover peeling off, which is not good. So I have to be more careful with this. Dirt, yes, there is dirt. Quite a bit of it, as a matter of fact. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. Jeepers. Now I'm going to use the document cleaning pad. And that should remove a lot of the dirt, right? There is some ink pattern in here that somebody tried to erase. Then what I'm going to do is go over this with an eraser after this. Make sure that it's nice and clean before we do any wet treatments. I have to say I did a pretty good job with these, right? With the makeup pads. But still pretty dirty. Have to be careful here. And there are certain areas like on the top here where you see some ink staining on several parts, right? And this, so I'm using just a Staedtler Mars plastic eraser, and I'm going very lightly over these stains And the most egregious one is here on top of the July word, and there is a rip right next to it, so I gotta be careful. But you can see that I'm lifting already some ink, right? And this ink, I can just get rid of it on my mat, right, and start over again. So there is no ink on the eraser when I do it. And slowly we should be able to get rid of a lot of this ink. All right, so you can see that the ink is much lightened. A couple of areas I lost color, so you have these little white spots here on top of the July, August. And otherwise, I think I'm pretty satisfied now that the rest of it will come out with the calcium hydroxide bath when I do it, right? So we're gonna stop here and we're gonna proceed now with the bath alongside leaf casting, right? So stay tuned, guys.